Out here moving cows again. I didn't fence this section in half like I was planning on. I'm just going to turn them all into this whole half right here. I'll give them just a few days on this and then we'll move them off into another pasture. So I've got them trained so that I call them and then they'll follow me. And so I just ride by on the four-wheeler, call them once, and then just take off and they'll all follow me. Get over here, open the gate, and as you can see, they come from wherever they're at. Stragglers off over there. And they walk right in. Pretty easy. So once I get this done, this fence will stay open, this gate, and then we'll go close off the gate to the other side. And then we're gonna go look at where I'm gonna be putting up I'm gonna be changing some fence. So we're gonna go start planning that out and see what kind of materials I'm gonna end up needing. So, all right, looks like I've got most of their attention. So let's go close that other gate. See that big pile of dirt over there? That's where I'm going to be digging a pond. Okay. To give you context, right over there is where my compost pile is and where I've been doing the biochar. As you can see though, this pasture, there's a fence in between the pasture and the pond, or where the pond will be. Now, we're going to hold off on digging any more on the pond just because I've got the parts ordered for the backhoe, and I'll run over there and kind of explain that here in just a second. But we're going to wait till I get the transmission oil leak fixed on the backhoe before I finish digging the pond. So in the meanwhile, this fence has to move, right? Otherwise the cows won't be able to get to it. So I'm going to end up having to take down all of this fence and move it. And I think we're going to start over here and we'll run fence back that way and then kind of way off all the way around there, and we'll connect it back to the other pasture. So what we're going to do real quick is just go start planning that and figuring out what I'm going to need as far as fencing supplies, what trees am I going to need to take down that are in my way. I've got chainsaw and stuff with me, so we can go ahead and get started on cutting some of these trees down maybe. And yeah, so I don't know how easy it is to tell, but that's probably between me or where we're at here and these trees back over this way. That's like probably 100 yards, 150 yards, something like that. So we're going to go all the way back to there, and then now the creek runs right down in here. So my plan is to come from somewhere over here. I might use that fence stretcher right there, but we'll run down kind of closer to the creek and then follow it around and end up tying back into the fence off that way. So that's what we're going to do real quick. Is just go start plotting that out and figuring out where that fence is actually going to go. So let me go show you why I'm waiting for the transmission oil leak to be fixed on the backhoe. Alright, so over here by where I started digging this hole, you can see there's a huge hydraulic spill on the ground there. I say huge, I mean it's I think about a gallon, maybe 2 gallons worth of oil, which is a lot, but you know, all things considered, not that bad. Anyway, this is where I'd started digging. I blew up hydraulic line here. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. I don't think you have. First thing I did is I just kind of went through and scraped off all the vegetation, ripped out small trees, stuff like that. So I've kind of got the general layout of where the pond's going to be. It's going to keep going further up this way, I think. And then I dug a big hole. We had a little bit of rain the other day, so a little bit of water sitting in it. That's cool. The next thing I really need to do though on digging this is I need to scoop up these big piles of the spoil piles that I have from digging that hole. I need to get them out of my way because I need to start kind of expanding the pond, and so they're getting too tall to where it's getting to where it's time consuming to lift the backhoe up that far to dump the dirt. So, you know, I could have kept going a little bit, but anyway, this is just where I kind of happened to stop. And I've run into clay right down here. which is cool, or shale rather, which that's good. So as we dig that out, I want to keep that dirt separate because I'm going to use the clay, or the shale rather, to which is, it's kind of a gray type of a clay material. Anyway, I'll line the whole banks of my pond with that stuff. It's pretty waterproof. So anyway, I got to get all this kind of topsoil out of my way, and I'm going to keep this separate because this is going to be used as fill material for holes and ruts and stuff that I have just around the farm. So anyway, in order to do this, I need to have that transmission leak fixed on the backhoe because I need. Hey guys, future Garrett here, real quick. I don't know if I'd actually showed you guys this yet, but this is kind of a clutch pedal. The way this works is it's a hydraulic bypass valve that's pedal operated, and there's oil seal right there. You can see that shiny rod there. There's oil seal in there, and that's what's leaking real bad, causing my transmission oil leak. So the oil just pours out of there anytime the tractor's driving. Whenever you stop, that stops leaking. So it's no problem to dig with it like I was out there at the pond, but whenever I go to drive it, in order to get those spoil piles out of my way, just backing it up back and forth, it'll just drain all the transmission fluid out. So that oil seal, and then there's another one in there. Those are the parts I'm waiting on. They are on their way. I'll have them next week, or next weekend, by next weekend. To be driving, scooping with the loader, and then I'll pile this up off over here somewhere out of my way. That fence is right over here. So the problem is it's leaking so bad right now that if I drive it for more than just a few minutes, I mean, I'm losing like literally gallons of transmission fluid. So, you know, that's no good. So we'll get that fixed, and then I'll come out here, we'll move these piles out of my way, both of them, and then we'll keep digging. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna kind of segregate the soil as I pull it out. All of this stuff is gonna go into one pile, and the shale that I dig out, that's gonna go in a different pile. So that shale will eventually, I'll backline all the walls of the pond with that, and that'll make it more waterproof. We're also going to build this area up. So anyway, that's why we're holding off on digging any further. So for now, we're going to go start plotting out the fence, which is going to be back here in the woods that way, all the way around over to there. So I've got chainsaw with me, and gas and bar oil and stuff. First thing we're going to do is I'm just going to go walk through all of it and mark out the trees and just plot out where the fence is going to go. We'll kind of get a measurement on how much fence I need to run, and then that'll let me know how much fencing supplies I'm going to have to buy. So that's the first step, and then if I get that done all the way back to the fence off this way, then we'll start cutting trees down. So I'm going to go figure out where I'm going to start moving the fence, and I'll bring you back when I have something to show you. Well, I didn't make it very far marking the trees, and my can of spray paint has kind of stopped working on me. Come on. So much for that plan. I guess I'll just grab a chainsaw and start cutting down what I can see from here, and yeah, I don't know, just work from there. So we'll start clearing a hole. The plan is once I come in, we'll cut these trees out of the way that are going to be right up on my fence line or right in the middle of it, and then I'll leave the stumps kind of tall, and then I can come back with a backhoe. I'll be able to back that through here, and I'll rip out all the stumps and then kind of flatten the ground back off. Now this stuff, you know, it's not exactly good pasture land, but I think as we start to thin out some of these trees, we can get grass growing in here again, and the cows like the shade, and they'll eat the leaves off of stuff like this. So we'll just get them in here and let them start stomping everything down, clearing it, eating what they're going to eat, and you know, from there we'll just keep kind of selectively cleaning stuff up, and eventually this will be what's called a silvopasture, which is kind of a tree populated area that is thin enough that the sunlight can get down to the floor and grow grass, but still has a lot of trees growing in it. So I really like that idea, and we'll have a good probably 20 or 30 acres of it over here by the time I'm done. So, all right, I'll start cutting trees down. You guys probably think I just hate trees. I'm always cutting trees down on this channel. I don't. I love trees. They're just in my way. So, anyway, I'll show you my progress here in a little bit. Well, this is not going my way. As soon as I got started, I threw the chain on the chainsaw, and I just realized I left my wrench all the way back at the camper. So, okay, I'll drop all this stuff off here. I'll go get my wrench. I'll be right back. Why are you here? You should be in the chainsaw case. This is not where you belong. Alright, well, I've been working on this. This is the knee for my tractor. I've been working on getting it kind of put back together. And so that's the bearing down in there. It's a really good fit. I don't know if I can get it out with one hand. There we go. So, what I did is I had to weld all this back up here and then all the way around the sides, and then I've been just sitting here recutting it. So, you see there's kind of some remnants of the weld on top. I'll go ahead and just clean that off, and next I'm about to do that. Won't take long. And then, yeah, it's pretty much done. I'll clean up some of this stuff just with hand files, hand tools, and then we'll slap the bushings back in there, and finally the tractor will be ready to put back together. So I feel like I've been working on this for a long time. Anyway, I've got a whole video coming out about this, but it's just a quick update for you guys today. Alright, the hammer did end up working. I used the board to get it down flush, and we have this, it's just like a big drift, just a random chunk of brass or whatever, and it happens to fit right down inside there. And then the way this is machined, it sits perfectly right over the top. I was able to hammer it in the rest of the way that way. It's much tighter than I expected, so I may have to modify this or another something to get this other side in, because it's smaller. So, smaller bushing. So close. This one, since there's no cup that it's sitting in, I may be able to just hammer it all the way in with the board. Just a little bit of a burr or something on there. Okay. Nicked it. Know if you heard me hit that, but see, these have a split in them, and as you can see, I kind of messed that up right there. This is taller on that side, so I just found another cool piece of brass though in my little goodie pile over there. How to use that right from the start if I remember that was in there. Yeah, that fixed it right out. Okay. All there is to it.
Cool. Awesome.